One of my videos completely bombed for 7 months, getting only around 16,000 views, and I almost deleted it. But instead, I kept it up and I made some small changes, and that same video eventually hit 1 million views. And it became one of my most successful pieces of content. And the difference wasn't luck or the algorithm randomly picking my video, it was avoiding the critical mistakes that most creators make after uploading. So with that being said, let's dive into the 5 biggest mistakes that you must avoid after uploading a YouTube video, including one that almost cost me over 1 million views. And if you appreciate me doing this type of content, feel free to gently tap that like button, and let's jump into it right now. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a very controversial piece of advice, and that is don't tell anyone about your YouTube channel. Now, I know this sounds completely backwards. When you're starting out, you desperately want views and subscribers, so naturally you might send links to people that you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers. And trust me, I totally get the temptation. You start a channel, you're not getting views, you've uploaded a couple videos and you're not getting any traction. So you naturally want to tell people about it to get some views and to get some likes and maybe a few subscribers. And I'm completely guilty of this too. When I started my other channels before this channel that you're watching right now, I told my friends and family about them. I was so excited to share what I was working on. And you know what happened? Those channels didn't succeed. And here's why, and this was the real problem with that approach. Friends and families aren't your actual target audience. They might click on your video once out of curiosity or to be supportive, but here's what happens next. They don't watch the whole thing, they don't engage with comments, they don't subscribe, or maybe they do subscribe, which is even worse, because they're not going to actually watch your content in the future. And even if they do watch your content in the future, that's just gonna confuse the algorithm because it's gonna end up sending your content to other people like them that likely wouldn't be interested in it. And then of course, those other people barely click on it, and of the few that click on it, they don't watch very much of it. And so the algorithm thinks, okay, this content isn't very good, and it stops promoting it. Now, if your family or friends happen to be exactly the same as your target demographic, then that's a completely different story. Then you definitely should share it with them. But honestly, YouTube's algorithm is actually incredible at finding the right audience itself. And it's way better than you are at guessing who might be interested. So the algorithm uses your titles, your descriptions, your tags, and it even transcribes your entire video to understand what you're talking about. Then it matches your content with people who are genuinely interested in that topic. So here's what you should do instead. Let YouTube do its job. Focus all your energy on making better content, better thumbnails, better titles that will naturally attract your real audience, the people who are actually searching for what you're teaching. And once you're established and you found your real audience, then you can share casually with friends and family, but never as your main growth strategy. The second thing that you absolutely need to avoid doing is obsessing over analytics right away. I've seen this with new YouTubers so many times. You hit that upload button and immediately your first instinct is to refresh your analytics. And every 5 minutes you're refreshing and you're looking to see if you got a new view and you're looking to see what the click-through rate is or the average view duration. And I used to do this constantly when I was starting out as well, right? The moment I uploaded a video, the very first thing I would do is check how many views I got. And when I saw 0 views or maybe just a few views after an hour, I got completely frustrated and discouraged. And even when I was getting maybe a few hundred views after I'd launch a video, I would look at things like the click-through rate and the average view duration. And what I realized is I was putting the cart before the horse. When you're not getting that many views, you don't need to be focusing on optimization. And when you're reading the data and you're looking at the analytics, that's what you're doing. You're focusing on optimization, right? So this is kind of like if you started, let's just say, a lemonade stand, and you thought you found a good location for it, so you put your lemonade stand up and you stood out there for 8 hours and you only sold 1 lemonade, right? So you made like $1 or something like that. And then you start thinking to yourself, oh, well, maybe my lemonade's not good enough, or maybe I need to have better marketing, better advertising. When in reality, you just put the lemonade stand on the wrong corner, right? If you're gonna try to optimize your marketing or optimize your, how good your lemonade tastes, that's not really gonna help you very much. And what you really need to do is just put your lemonade stand on a corner where there's a lot more people. It's the same exact thing with YouTube. Do not worry about the analytics. Don't worry about the click-through rate, the average view duration, anything like that when you first start. What you want to do is try to find ideas where there's a massive amount of demand and not very much supply. And then you make videos on those ideas. And you consistently make videos on those ideas, and one of them is bound to take off. Then, once that video takes off, you make more videos that are either like that video or would be interesting to people who would like to watch that video. And that is when you might start focusing on optimization. But if you focus on optimization at first, you're putting the cart before the horse, right? You're trying to optimize something that's not there. So the best thing you can do is just get started on your next piece of content. No, seriously, that's the best thing you can do. Don't worry about how it does. Almost just forget that it exists and just focus on your next piece of content. That's it. Now, speaking of building a smart strategy instead of making these costly beginner mistakes, I will be hosting a live training this Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, quick break. This Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm hosting a free live workshop called The $1 Billion a Day Industry Suddenly Unlocked by AI. At this workshop, I'll be giving away my brand new tool, TitleGen AI, for free. This is a viral video idea generator that I've been working on, powered by GPT, trained on thousands of hours of my teaching, my philosophy, and coaching sessions, and ready to go for you. And I'm giving it away for this one time only at the workshop. So make sure you show up, click the link in the description or the pinned comment below, and when you're done registering, make sure to click on add this to your calendar so it'll show up in your Google, Apple, or Outlook calendar in order to get our GPT. Now, you'll also be able to ask me questions live, so I look forward to meeting you. See you Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right, the third thing that you should avoid is deleting underperforming videos. So a video flops in the first few days or weeks, sometimes even months, and maybe it gets way fewer views than what you expected. And you start feeling like it's dragging your entire channel down, it's hurting your analytics, it's making you look bad. So your first instinct is to just delete it and pretend it never happened. This is actually one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. When you delete a video, you're completely erasing all of its future potential. And here's what most people don't realize. Some videos that seem completely dead at first have blown up months or even years later, bringing in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views. And YouTube's search function and recommendation algorithm often breathe new life into old videos. And sometimes it just takes time for the algorithm to figure out the right audience. Or sometimes your video becomes relevant again because of trends or current events. Or sometimes people start searching for your topic more frequently. So let me tell you exactly what happened with one of my videos. I uploaded a video that completely bombed for the first 7 months. It only had 16,000 views during that entire time. Now, I know you might be thinking, Shane, 16,000 views is actually still pretty good. But when you contrast that to my subscriber count at the time and what other videos were doing, 16,000 views was really disappointing. But here's the crazy part. 7 months later, that same video started gaining serious traction, and people started finding it through search, and the algorithm started recommending it more. And it eventually blew up to 1.5 million views. And the video was called Top 5 College Degrees That Are Actually Worth It. And if I had deleted that video during those first 7 months, when it wasn't performing, I would have lost out on over 1 million views. So here's what you should do instead. Keep the video up no matter how it's performing initially. If you really think it could be better, refresh the title to make it more searchable. Then update the description with better keywords, create a new thumbnail that's more eye-catching, but never delete the video completely. You never know when it might take off. Now, the number 4 mistake that I see people making, and honestly, I think 95% of YouTubers are making this mistake, is not uploading the video in 4K. Now, you might be thinking, Shane, I don't have a 4K camera. I record my videos with my iPhone, or I record my videos with some old camera. It's not 4K. Well, actually, you can record 4K with an iPhone if it's a new iPhone, but that's besides the point. Even if you record in 1080p, you can render the video in 4K and you can upload it to YouTube in 4K. And when you do that, it's actually going to be higher quality. And the reason you want to do this is because most people are now watching YouTube on their TVs. For years, probably over 10 years now, most people have been watching YouTube on their phone, right? Phone has been absolutely dominating YouTube for nearly the last decade. And the funny thing is, TV wasn't even number 2. Computer was number 2. But recently, in early 2025, TV absolutely shot up the ranks and it is now number 1. YouTube passed up Netflix and all of the other streaming companies, like basically the long form video content companies like Netflix, etc., completely passed them all up. In fact, they passed all of them combined. And so now TV is number 1 when it comes to viewing content, which is absolutely crazy. So what does this mean? You need to make sure that your content looks both good on a phone, because still there's a lot of people watching on a phone, but it also looks good on TV. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to render your videos after you're done editing in 4K, and then more importantly, upload your videos in 4K, right? My videos are actually recorded in 1080p, but because of the fact that I render them and then upload them in 4K, they look pretty good on TV. And that's another thing you should do, is immediately check to see if your video, 1, looks good on phone, and 2, looks good on TV. Because let's just say you're sharing your screen, for instance. If it's not really big on your screen, it might be too small on a phone. So you need to make sure if you're sharing your screen, people can still view it on a phone. But you also need to make sure that your video isn't pixelated when people blow it up to like a 60-inch TV. And by the way, when you render your 1080p video in 4K and then you upload it in 4K, it actually looks better. So there's really no reason not to do it. And you get this little 4K logo next to your video, so people are more likely to click on it. But more importantly than that, YouTube is more likely to recommend it to people who are watching TV because YouTube knows that they're gonna have a better viewing experience if the video is not pixelated. And I kind of learned this the hard way because one time I went to my brother's house and we were watching one of my favorite content creators on his big screen TV. And his wife was watching with us and she pointed out that the creator had very greasy hair and some skin issues that were really obvious on the big screen, right? And I had been watching this same creator on my phone for months and never noticed any of these details. And that's when it hit me, the difference in video quality becomes really obvious when people watch on larger screens, right? So you wanna make sure that your content looks good on your phone and it also looks good on a big TV because those are the two most common ways that people are viewing your content. Number 3 is computer, and then I think way down at number 4 is tablets.
What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. You know, we work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I mean, I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you could be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one.
All right, so the 5th mistake that people are making is a bit of a broad mistake, but it's honestly probably the most common one, and that is uploading without a clear strategy or niche. Now, this is one of the most common mistakes that I see creators make, and it absolutely kills their growth potential. And I see this over and over again. You wanna make all kinds of different videos, right? You have lots of different interests. Gaming content one week, cooking tutorials the next week, maybe some tech reviews, then some personal vlogs. And in your mind, you think, oh, if I cover more topics, it's gonna attract more viewers. But it actually does the opposite. When your content is all over the place, neither the algorithm nor your audience knows what your channel is really about. And the algorithm struggles to categorize your content and figure out who to recommend it to. So if someone subscribes because they liked your gaming video, but then you upload a cooking tutorial, they might not be interested and they won't engage. And this confuses the algorithm even more. And YouTube's recommendation system thrives on clarity and consistency. So channels with focused niches get recommended much more frequently because the algorithm understands exactly what type of content you create and who your target audience is. And this makes it much easier for YouTube to show your videos to the right people. And look, I see this mistake destroy promising channels all the time. Creators who are talented and create good content, but they never build momentum because their content is too scattered. The algorithm can't properly categorize them. Viewers can't understand what they're all about. And growth stagnates because there's no clear value proposition, right? So to imagine what this feels like to a viewer, just think of your 2 favorite shows. Okay, my 2 favorite shows are The Office and Breaking Bad. And I love both of these shows, but they're complete opposites. The Office is a dry comedy. It's very light. You can watch it anytime and it's relatively serialized. So you don't have to keep up with whatever's going on. You can kind of just watch a random episode if you'd like, very similar to Friends. Whereas Breaking Bad is a dry, gritty drama where if you accidentally skip a few episodes, you're gonna be completely lost. Now, I love both of these shows, but if I clicked on The Office, for instance, I'm in the mood for just a dry, light show, and then Breaking Bad popped up. Even though I love Breaking Bad, I would have a bad experience there, right? The reality of the situation would not meet my expectations. And this is exactly what happens when you upload a bunch of different value propositions on your channel. You're, uploading in different niches. You're making contents in different formats. For instance, maybe you're making a vlog one day, then you're making a listicle video the next day, then a how-to video, then a tutorial video, then an interview video, then a podcast, right? I see this all the time with my clients that I work with where they're just all over the place. They're uploading all kinds of different content instead of just focusing on what actually works. Now, I totally get it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to find your niche and then usually your sub niche, because usually people niche down even further, and then find the best format of video and then find the best style of video. And all the while you're trying to balance like passion and practicality. I get it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do this, which is why you need to attend my live training this Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we will definitely be able to help you with that. Links in the description and the pinned comment below. Do not miss out on it. Now, additionally, I know 99.9% of people watching this right now are never going to work with me, right? They're never going to do any coaching with me. However, if you are a part of that 0.1% of people who does want to work one-on-one with myself or my team, then go ahead and book a clarity call down the description and the pinned comment below. On this call, we'll figure out where you are right now, where you want to be. We'll make a plan to get there, and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. The call itself will be very valuable whether we end up working together or not. And if you're not interested in coaching, that's completely fine. Just keep watching my content. I love giving tons of value completely free in my videos as well as my live trainings. And I love receiving comments like this from people who say that they were able to grow their channel or make money just from my free content alone. That feels amazing for me, so just keep watching the content. Totally fine. Oh, and one bonus mistake people are making when they upload their content is not putting end screens. Speaking of end screens, check out this video right here on 10 things that people do need to do right after they upload a video. And you can check that out by clicking right here.